In Chicago, you know that all sports rock. The Bears, Hawks, Bulls, Cubs, and Sox. Pick your favorite, you can choose. As long as the Packers lose. For everything you need to know, it's Bill Swerski Sports Talk Chicago. Bill Swerski Sports Talk Chicago.
Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Bill Swerski Sports Talk Chicago. This is your hosts, Alex and Sean. On this episode, we're going to be talking about the Bears wrapping up the regular season, heading into the playoffs with a really tough loss where they didn't look so good. But first, I'd like to thank our sponsor, the Rockford Ice Hogs. If you're not familiar with the Rockford Ice Hogs, they're the AHL minor league affiliate of the Chicago Blackhawks. What does it mean for you? You can see the stars of tomorrow today at family-friendly, affordable prices. Season is going on right now, so head on over to icehogs.com, get yourself a hat, shirt, jersey, tickets, and more. Tell them Swerski Sports sent you. Oh, Alex, that game started poorly and ended poorly.
Yeah, outside of maybe a 10-minute span in the fourth quarter, that was a rough watch, a really, really rough watch. I mean, if you didn't know what the stakes were or who was where, you would have thought it was Detroit playing for the higher seed, not the Bears. And the funny thing is if you wanted the 2 seed, you still got it. Philadelphia was stupid. They were given the 2 seed on a silver platter, and Nick Sirianni sat all his starters. He could have had the 2 seed, but he decided not to. So the Bears still got the 2 seed, which I have mixed feelings about. But I mean, what just got me today was I didn't see a team that looked overly motivated today. And I know that they already clinched the playoffs. They were going to be either the 2 seed or the 3 seed. Detroit was just playing for pride. But if you're going to play the starters, then why not go all out? I mean, that looked like a game where you weren't playing your starters. If the Bears weren't playing their starters and they were locked into a seed, then okay, it doesn't matter. But it just, I don't know. It was a really unpleasant viewing.
Yeah, they just looked ice cold on offense and defense. They picked right back up where they ended last week, where they couldn't stop anybody. They look like they're on ice skates out there. And Jalen Johnson in man coverage looked atrocious. Atrocious.
Yeah, this defense, I'm not feeling good at all about this defense whatsoever because it's the same story. They can't get pressure to save their lives. The other team throws the slants in the middle of the field. They're going to get baked all the time. They don't have the speed to catch up with it. I mean, you just have a lot of lumbering slow out there. And yeah, I'm worried Jalen Johnson might just be cooked after all these injuries. Maybe he's back to form next year, but right now he just does not look the same.
No, he doesn't. He does not look good at all. And actually anybody, every single one of them in man coverage looked bad. CJ Gardner Johnson looked bad. Um, they just all looked bad,
Yeah,
period. Um, Honestly, Jaquan Brisker doesn't look great.
no.
And he,
Deshaun Wright, if he's not getting a turnover, is getting burned quite a bit.
yeah, it is what went going into the season is by far and away our biggest strength has become a liability become a liability quickly.
And, unfortunately, and this is the way I view it too, is unfortunately, teams have been able to move the ball all year against the Bears. The big thing is, in so many of these games, we got crazy turnovers and very timely turnovers. And sure, they've been pretty good in the red zone at home. I mean, we saw it today. The only reason the Bears were able to fight back is that those long drives the Lions had, they did not result in touchdowns. Most of them resulted in field goals. That's what kept you in the game. But here's the thing is the Lions controlled that game. The time of possession was incredibly lopsided. Like so insanely lopsided. Again, it looked like the team was resting their starters at that point. and it looked like it was the other team playing for what the Bears were playing for. And I really get bothered when we constantly can't get off the field on third or fourth down, because we saw that again this week. We saw it a lot last week, and it could have easily been 24 to nothing at halftime.
It really could have. I mean, very well. And that's the thing though, is it's the crazy thing about the NFL is uh field goals. I know people are like, well, it's good to get points on the board. Well, it depends. Not in a situation like this where you're playing a high-powered offense. Sure, the Bears weren't playing like a high-powered offense, but you saw how quickly they were able to strike and two drives and they tied the game up that they were getting dominated by for three quarters. It's how quickly it is when you don't score touchdowns in the red zone.
Right, exactly. And I mean, that's what saved us against the Packers a few weeks ago, is that they were what, 0 for 5 in trips to the red zone. That's what kept them within striking distance, even with the odds very, very small. But look, uh, before we get to the positives, because I mean, we're 11-6 and we're the number 2 seed. We don't want this to be all doom and gloom, but I you saw again today where the Bears woke up in the fourth quarter. You can't keep doing that. You just
No.
can't.
Yep, you can't. You got to start off the game like you got to start the game like it's the fourth quarter. It just
Yes.
uh and it's going to help your defense out because when you have obvious passing downs, you or obvious running downs, when the Bears can take away one you know parameter there, they do a whole lot better of a job when they can focus. So if they're up and they know it's passing, then they're not stopping it, but they can send blitzes, they are getting interceptions, etc. When they know it's running downs, they bring a guy in the box and they've been able to stop the run when they focus on it. It's when the team has the option to go run or pass, the Bears get caught on skates. And so if you can get out an early start and start taking away one dimension of the other team, it's going to make your defense look a whole lot better than it really is.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Um, Man, and you said earlier that you were surprised what the Eagles did, and uh, I am too because the Packers are beat up, and the Rams are just absolutely cooking. And they are cooking with propane and propane accessories.
I tell you what.
I'll tell you what. I would not want. I don't care where the game is. I would not want to play the Rams in the first round. It's like you've got to play a good team if you expect to go to the Super Bowl.
Right. There's no perfect situation here. There isn't.
But if you can get yourself an easier matchup, uh, then like in the first round, you go ahead and do that. Like and I'm not saying the Packers are going to be an easy out, but if you're the Packer or if you're the Eagles, you've already beat the Packers when they were healthy.
I think you're right, because I think the Eagles defense is better fit to beat the Packers than the Bears.
Yes. So I would prefer to have an injured Packers team go into my home stadium than the Rams, because the Rams don't, and you're in Philadelphia, you're not going to get the Arctic weather. Is if there's a blizzard and it's 0 degrees, the Rams probably get slowed down a lot in the high winds. Philadelphia is not going to get that same weather that Green Bay or Chicago are going to get.
Right.
It's similar, but it's a much less of a degree. You're more likely to get a bad rain than than like Arctic weather.
Right.
So,
Yes.
um, so the Rams are very likely to go in there and just keep. I mean, you saw what they did today. They just they just manhandled Arizona.
Which, to be fair, that's not hard to do. But yes, you are right. That's what they did.
So yeah, it just it's crazy to me that they didn't even think about it.
Yeah, I don't get that. They would have had it. They would have had the two seed had they just started their starters. Because I can guarantee you that the Commanders are not beating that team if they have their starters in there. So
Yeah, yeah,
I don't get it.
yeah. So um, that is what it is. Uh,
Yep. So because it would have been what? It would have been either Bears Packers or Bears 49ers, right?
um, it would have either been Bears Packers or Bears. Wait, the Bears play? Like who the Bears play?
Right. If the Bears would have gotten the three, would they have
They
played
would have hosted the Rams.
hosted the Rams? Okay.
Yeah, and it would have been the Eagles. Um,
It would have been the Eagles playing Green Bay. Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh, but boy, having that number one, I guess it's not going to matter. I was going to say, is being able to potentially get Carolina in round two. Like that team is atrocious on the road, but they're not like San Francisco's going to roll them, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you would think so. Not a single team in that division was over 500.
No, no. And the fact that it came down to like the last two games of the season where Tampa beat Carolina and then had to wait for the outcome of Atlanta and New Orleans. It was
I
so
know.
ridiculous.
Oh, I know. It truly is. Truly, truly is. And I mean, I know a lot of people say, well, they should change the format. It's like, well, you're going from one problem to another. Unfortunately, it's just the division winners get the upper seeds. So it's a cruel game because you see a sub 500 Panthers team get in it, but look at the NFC North. The Lions and the Vikings both went 9-8, and they didn't make the playoffs. Every team in the NFC North had a winning record. Meanwhile, here are the 8-9 Carolina Panthers getting ready to host a playoff game.
Yeah, if those two divisions combined, every single team in the NFC North would have been, ahead of every single team in the South.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But that's the way it goes sometimes. There's always
Yeah.
one bad division, and it's usually
Yep.
the AFC South.
Yeah, I was going to say it's more often than not it's down there, but someone's got to win that division, I guess.
Uh, man, I'm just looking at these matchups. Uh, Buffalo, New England is gonna be a tough game.
Oh yeah, that's one of the better matchups, I would say.
I mean, honestly, there's not a bad matchup in any. I mean, Carolina, San Francisco. That's probably not a good one, but the winner of the AFC North versus Houston is gonna be a good one. That's just gonna be just an absolute smash fest. I think sneakily the Chargers Jaguars is gonna be really good.
Yeah, I could see that being interesting. I mean, you got Trevor Lawrence and a revamped team under Liam Cohen versus the veteran coach Jim Harbaugh. I could see that being intriguing.
We know Buffalo, New England's gonna be good. Bears Packers for the third time in a month is gonna
Yeah.
be good. Defending Super Bowl champions versus, one of the best offenses in football is gonna be good. So that first round is gonna be tough. Tough, 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 tough. And it's crazy is there's one game left in the season and it's deciding who's going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah. So at least the regular season's ending with a bang. With
That's
something
true.
meaningful.
True, true, true. But going back to our game, it is just, I mean, let's start with some positives. We got to have some positives here.
Sure.
Colston Loveland and Luther Burden are dudes.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Both of those guys, I mean, Colston Loveland's already a problem. He is just a matchup nightmare. And when all those talking heads during the draft were just like gobsmacked that the Bears didn't draft Tyler Warren. I I said I'm going Colston Loveland in that pick because I think he's better suited for what the Bears and Ben Johnson are trying to do. And this is not taking anything away from Tyler Warren. I think he had a fine season. And for probably the first quarter, maybe even the first third of the season, people were going, the Bears should have drafted Tyler Warren. But by the end, there's no question the Bears made the right choice there.
Yeah. No, I'm totally with you. I am totally with you. I think that he fits great in this system. I think Ben Johnson loves utilizing him. And I mean, we've seen him have how many big games this year? Multiple.
Yep.
And he's made some big important plays as well. I think that it was the right choice. I think it was the right choice. There's no reason to regret whatsoever. And I think Tyler Warren is still very good and he'll be good for the Indianapolis Colts. But when you're talking about the fit, I think Tyler Warren was right for the Colts, and I think Colston Loveland was right for the Bears. I mean, you look at this draft as a whole, and I think Ben Johnson deserves a lot of the credit for being there with Ryan Poles in the draft room because you drafted Burden, you drafted Loveland, you drafted Ozzie Trapillo, you drafted Kyle Monangai. That's four dudes on your offense right there that have made a noticeable impact.
You know, it's funny going through this draft, and after one regular season, not even the playoff game has been played yet. It's hard to judge anything, but this first round looking like it's going to be pretty good. Cam Ward, I think, is going to be pretty good.
I
He's
think
just
so
on a
too.
he's in a really bad situation.
Yeah, yeah. He needs a team around him.
But I think he's going to be pretty good. I don't know how good, but I think he's going to be an above average starter at least.
Last in this league, yeah.
Um, Travis Hunter got hurt, but it's hard to gauge that. Abdul Carter's been pretty good. Will Campbell has been pretty good. Mason Graham's been pretty good. Ashton Genty. I have not seen enough Jets to look at Armand Membo. But Tet McMillan has been good. Colston Loveland has been good. Um, Tyler Warren has been good. Uh,
I
you know,
think
you
with
just
Ashton Genty, I think you need to put him on a good team with a good line. I mean, the Raiders are a disaster.
yeah, Pete Carroll is going to be probably fired tomorrow. Sorry, he's probably going to announce he's retiring.
Yeah. He's gonna say, you know what, fuck it, I'm done.
No, they're basically telling him he's going to tell them he's retiring to save face, or he's going to get fired. There's
Oh, okay. All
there's
right.
no way. There's no way come Monday. I'm sorry, come Tuesday that he's still the head coach of this team.
Yeah, I that just did not go well. And I think Pete Carroll's gonna go down as one of the better coaches of this generation, but I think the time has passed. And to his credit too, to defend him, I should say, is there wasn't a lot on that team. You didn't have a quarterback, you didn't have an offensive line, and all this is driving away your star pass rusher, who some people are looking at for a trade with the Bears next year. We'll get there when we get there, but I would be beyond shocked if Max Crosby is in a Raiders uniform next year.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. They're going to clean house. I'm looking at the first round, honestly. Gray Zabel has been very, very good. Emeka Agbukwa was been fantastic. Jade Barron, Omarion Hampton, uh, Jackson Dart, Tyleek Williams, Jihad Campbell. I I'm gonna name one name that hasn't been very good. Green Bay Packers first round wide receiver Matthew Golden.
No, that hasn't worked out. But just be careful. Be careful what you say,
Oh,
because
I know.
he'll have a game-winning touchdown next week.
I know. Ugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Bears had a home run draft. Um, the just absolutely home run draft is you look uh you look at the first round they get Colston Loveland who's just been a a baller. Um, Luther Burden who's been a baller. Um, Ozzy Trapillo, who's now your starting left tackle, and he'll probably be going forward. We haven't even seen Shamar Turner yet. Uh, so really, we're getting next year. We'll have an additional second round pick defensive tackle coming in because he didn't really play. Um, so you really did have a good draft.
Yeah, I mean, right now you can call it a huge win. One of the better drafts in a while, considering some of the drafts the past years where you found some guys, but you also had a number of misses. We can go on and on about that. But so far, yeah, this is looking really good on that front. And one of the reasons that you turned around and went from 5 wins to 11 wins this year.
Yep, is smart drafting. Um, but yeah, so in this game, those two players were very good. Um, Caleb Williams in the fourth quarter was really good. Uh, Other than that, not a lot good for this team.
No. Hey, though, congratulations to Caleb Williams for breaking Eric Kramer's record. He has passed for 3,942 yards, coming up just shy of that elusive 4K mark. But that brings up another issue because I think he'd easily have 4K yards because we saw another constant problem today. The fucking
Drops.
drops.
I want to, before we talk about the drops, which I agree with you 100% is a big problem, is there's a certain Bears player that makes a lot of money that is absolutely in my doghouse, on my shit list.
Oh, yeah.
And DJ Moore.
Ooh.
DJ Moore on that interception, that should have been a touchdown. I get
It,
that was a tight throw. DJ Moore half-assed that.
Oh, I agree. At the very least, that should have been batted away, not been able to be intercepted.
Is
I
I
don't
mean,
know what the hell that was.
I think that could have been a pass interference. There was some contact there, but he just once the contact was made, he pulled up.
Yeah.
He pulled, and you add in there the another false start. Why did it? I don't have the stat, but I guarantee you he's leading the NFL in wide receiver false starts.
Yeah, because he
Um,
had what, another one today?
yeah,
There
another
were
one.
some dumb penalties today,
Like
man. Dumb penalties.
the Bears as a team lead the league in pre-snap penalties.
Yeah, and it felt like it was getting better recently, but today you had several conversions on first down for the Lions because the defense was what, offside or encroachment. It was awful. It was so frustrating.
But DJ Moore did nothing today. Nothing.
No.
It's super frustrating. DJ Moore had one catch for 11 yards. That's it.
Yep.
And he has been bad. I don't think he's going to be on the Bears next year. He makes a lot of money. They can use that elsewhere. I think he hasn't fully bought in. And what's crazy is he's a really talented guy. he just he never fully buys in. Like he's like the Jay Cutler of wide receivers. He's not the diva. He is like the apathy guy.
Yeah, I mean there are definitely some moments throughout the season that really made you scratch your head with him. And I mean, he's had plenty of good games too, but yeah, I mean, today was one of those games where you just didn't see the preferred production that you wanted from him. It was very odd that interception play. I was watching it, I'm like, wait, what? What are you doing? Like, it was so weird. It
Yeah.
was frustrating. It really was.
Yeah. But then there was other drops. There was the big one from Colston Loveland
Hmm.
that honestly would have been better off had it been a fumble for the Bears.
Yes.
Um, but uh it's um that there was just too many drops. And there was the one that really sucked too is when Caleb Williams was able to escape uh, a sack and rolled out to his right, and he threw one to I believe it was DeAndre Swift, and he had to throw it a little bit behind because the end or the sideline was there, and DeAndre Swift didn't slow down at all, and the ball came on his back hip, and he just dropped it, and that would have been a nice play.
Yeah, there was that, and there was the one where he was rolling to his right, and it was a low throw, but it was to Jade Walker. It's again, it was a low throw, but it's one you still wanted to see the receiver catch because he was wide open.
Yeah, it it stinks. It stinks that because of DJ Moore, Caleb got another interception that he shouldn't have. That was a nice throw.
Yeah, it was frustrating, and I think one of the big topics of conversation today, when it was all said and done, just talking about the offense, again, early on, it felt like it was just super low key, simple conservative. And it's like, well, if you're going to do that, then why bother having everybody in there? Like, it almost felt like in that first half, they couldn't decide committing to really playing hard or not going for it and being careful. Because you had your starters out there, so that would tell you you're trying to play for something, but you weren't playing full throttle per se in that first half. Now, we've seen plenty of first halves where things are just not in sorts, but there were some nice first down runs by Swift on their first possession. So you're thinking, okay, they're getting a ground game going, and then it's stalled, and then ever since then, they really couldn't get much going. The best that they looked was on the drive when you had that incompletion fumble, whatever it was on fourth down that turned the ball over.
So
Just very weird vibes.
it looks like DJ Moore is tied with AJ Brown for most false start penalties by a wide receiver.
Wow. That many.
Uh yeah, so it's that's frustrating. Um I did let's see what else. Um I don't think the offensive line had their best day.
No, no, they didn't. I know Ozzy Trapillo wasn't in there, but still, they were getting blown up. Caleb was under pressure for a decent amount of the game, even got sacked. I think what, few times? I know there was at least the one, but
Yeah, but there was some pressure too. And that one that he did get the sack, um, I mean, that that was a good win one on one.
yeah.
He got pushed out and then he fought his way right back in from behind. Um, and so hats off to the Lions defensive line and Aiden Hutchinson, who's just a really good player.
Yeah, I want to bring this up real quick before I get to one last point of the game. It's Detroit. they showed you today, even without Ben Johnson, even though they missed out on the playoffs, I think they still showed you today that they are a good team and that they are going to be back next year.
Yeah, they're a good team. They just they have to figure some things out themselves. That offense, I know we got firsthand look, and it looks like it's just a well-oiled machine. They had some real struggles this year.
They did at certain times. They did. Definitely, and I think coaching change will make a impact on that. Having some injuries or absences on offensive line will do that, like Ragnow retiring. Yeah, that was a big one. And then, the injuries on defense. I think those are all big factors, but I think if they make a few tweaks, they're going to be good. Here's the crazy stat of the day. The Bears won the NFC North with a 2-4 record against the North. And you and I both know that next season you can't rely on going 2-4 against the North and win it again next year.
No, no. You're gonna have to you're gonna have to beat these teams. And that's just a simple matter is you win the games in your division. The Bears just were really good outside the division. And part of it was timing. They caught the Vikings and the Lions at time when they were just playing bad football.
Right. I mean, the Bears were able to take advantage of a easier go in the middle of the season, and the Vikings had a slow start by JJ McCarthy, which led to multiple injuries from JJ McCarthy. And then obviously the Lions had their ups and downs. And then, I mean, really, when you think about it, a few weeks ago, it looked like the Packers were going to be winning this division. But then Micah Parsons went down. And that game against the Broncos, where they were leading and looking like they were in shape to win that game and go on to probably win the division, it all just kind of fell apart. And then, even though Christian Watson came back, he went down in that game. And then early in the year, they lost Tucker Kraft. And then they hadn't been without Jordan Love the past few weeks. I mean, obviously, this week they weren't playing anybody. And then Tom, one of their linemen, went down. So, I mean, this looked like it was going to be Green Bay's division until they had those injuries, and the Bears just kind of took advantage of that. They were able to obviously beat up on the Browns, and then they had that miracle win against the Packers, which just flipped the switch. And then obviously the Lions losing that close one to Pittsburgh, and then the Ravens beating a beat up Packer team. It really, the stars really did align for the Bears to win the division this year. And now we don't know what next year is going to bring. I think there's a lot of hope for this Bears team, but next year you're really going to have to take it yourself. This year the stars aligned a little bit. Next year you really have to take the North. And at the end of the day, you win the division, you win the division.
And I don't want to say that the Bears got it handed to them because if you look,
no.
no team lost as many games to like starters to injury as the Bears.
Right, the Bears have had their injuries too, and I get what you're saying. I'm not trying to suggest that either. I'm just saying sometimes in the game of football, things just align for you, and that can make the difference.
Yeah,
It just happens.
I mean, here's the thing: is every team's going to try to get better, but this division, like the Packers, are going to get better because Micah Parsons is going to be back
Later in the season, but yes, for playoff time he'll be back, and by then they could be full force.
The Vikings are going to go after a veteran quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who that is, but they're going to go after a veteran, and they were dumb to let Sam Darnold go. But the Lions they're gonna get healthy, and they're gonna try to fix that offensive line. And they'll get their tight end back. And the Bears are gonna have to get some reinforcements on defense. And they're gonna have to go out and get a game wrecker on the defensive line.
Yep.
is they're in a division where, the Vikings have just an absolutely dominant defense. The Packers have a dominant defense with a game wrecker on the defensive line. The Lions have a game wrecker on that defensive line. I think you have to go after either Max Crosby or Miles Garrett. Miles Garrett is not happy either.
No, I just think Miles Garrett is going to cost way more.
I don't know because that salary makes, because when you trade for somebody, you have to balance in the salary too.
Yes, that's true.
Um, he makes so much money that I think there's not going to be that many teams that go after it because unless he's willing to renegotiate that deal to a lower number. Um, but
But are
uh,
the Browns willing to? Because I think the Browns, I think, have a better use. It could change in the offseason. We could see another Instagram note from him, but I mean, right now, because I just feel like with Vegas, it's literally if you don't get rid of Max Crosby, he's just not going to play. Like, period.
yeah, he's pissed. He is pissed. Um,
So they don't have that leverage.
but I believe I saw a um another quote from Miles Garrett where he's unhappy with his team and not wanting to play uh not wanting to play for nothing anymore. Yeah, I'm looking online. Garrett was vocal about wanting success and rejecting notions of tanking, even as the team dropped an order, a draft order after an upset win. um, he's expressed support for the defensive coordinator, but remained non-committal on head coach Kevin Stefanski, signaling a desire for their decisive leadership focused on winning.
I mean, neither situation is great for either team with their star player.
Oh my God. Could you imagine if the Bears brought either one of those guys in, how mad Packer fans would be?
Oh yeah, it would be. Yeah, I mean, it would be like how I felt when they got Micah Parsons earlier, right before the season started.
Uh,
I was crashing out hard, hard.
yeah. Um, but yeah, so our defense doesn't get enough pressure. They don't make Jared Goff uncomfortable. He's really bad quarterback when he's under pressure. That's how you win. And the Bears just couldn't get home. Um, the Bears stunk playing man coverage, and they played a lot of man coverage.
Because they can't keep up with them. They
No.
don't have the speed.
That linebacking core is not playing well.
No, 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 no. I mean, Tremaine Edmonds hasn't looked good since coming back. TJ Edwards doesn't look good since his injuries. It's just, and obviously Noah Sewell is out. So, uh, bleh.
Yeah, this defense is toast. Toast. Um,
You're gonna have to score a lot if you want to win because you know Matt LaFleur is licking his chops right now, and you know they want revenge after that loss a few weeks ago.
yeah. Um, and honestly, I think as much as I hate to say this, because of the juju magic and the history that they have, looking at it from an outsider perspective, not as a Bears fan, the matchup versus the Packers was the best option for the Bears.
You're probably right because I mean, I part of me was looking at the 49ers and thinking, you know what? That offense was relentless against us, but I don't think their defense is very good. I think you could put up points on your defense, but stopping that offense would have been particularly tough. I think with the Rams, I think the Rams have some holes, but if you're trying to blitz Matt Stafford, you're going to have a bad time because the way he picks up that blitz is as good as anybody, and they got some firepower in that team. And then, it's just you do have a point where a lot of it is the name. It's like if we lose, we're never going to hear the end of it, even though we never hear the end of it to begin with. On the flip side, if we win, that's going to feel like $1 million regardless. So there's so much at stake here, just as a meatball fan.
Yeah, I mean those three AFC or NFC West juggernauts is the way it's bracketed now. Um, you know, some of them are going to take care of themselves. So it's likely what's going to happen is the 49ers beat the Panthers and then they go to Seattle. And one of them is going to take out the other one. If you're the Bears and if you do what you should do and beat the Packers at home, which is a tall order. It's a very tall order, but
the Packers are favored right now.
Great.
By a point and a half. But I mean, I'm not totally surprised. Here's the thing. The Packers were Super Bowl contenders coming into this season. If they didn't have some of those injuries, they could very well be the 1 or 2 seed. And even with the injuries, they still have a more experienced head coach, a more experienced quarterback. A lot of these guys have been around the block more. And when you have that, you have an edge in potential matchups. It doesn't mean you're going to win, but there are reasons why I understand why the Packers would be favored.
Yeah, but you're not taking into account one really important factor. It's no longer Toyotathon.
Well,
Toyotathon is over.
Yippee. Tell that to the books in Vegas. They clearly didn't get the memo.
Clearly they didn't. But I mean, you have a team that you beat just a couple weeks ago, coming back to your home stadium. Like it's a tough game, but you should win that one. Otherwise you would be facing the Rams in the first round, which you don't want. I think the hope is the Eagles can beat the Rams because you match up a lot better against the Eagles than you do the Rams, I think.
Yeah.
I just think Puka Nacua is going to run rampant on you.
Yeah, yeah. The Puka Nacua is an absolute nightmare matchup for any defense.
So I think plus if you manhandled the Eagles in Philadelphia, they come to Chicago just a couple weeks later. Then if you do what you should do there, then you go on and face the winner of 49ers Seattle. And that's anything happens. I mean, you should have won.
Seattle's defense looks really good.
Yeah, but they couldn't really score on that awful 49ers defense.
No, they couldn't. No, and I think that makes this more wide open. If they had in prime Russell Wilson, that would look a hell lot scarier. Not saying Sam Darnold can't play decently, but I don't think he's an S tier or an A tier quarterback. I think he's just below it.
Yeah. So, I mean, very well the Bears could lose to the Packers, and Vegas thinks that's what's going to happen. But, the only way this could have been better is if they could have faced somehow the Panthers in round one.
Yeah. Well, that's, yeah.
We're in the playoffs. The NFC has one bad team in the playoffs.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's no matchup where you say, or no possible matchup where you say, oh yeah, this is going to be a cakewalk. I mean, I'd admittedly probably feel a bit different if this same Packers team, if everything was the same, but it wasn't the Packers. I mean, that is
if
part of the equation.
If it was like if you had a masked team, this masked team, you just beat them like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and their quarterback is just coming out of concussion protocol. They lost their best defensive player for the year to a severe injury, and All of their wide receivers are hurt. Um, they've got a banged up offensive line. Like you just mask them and you're like, this is the team you're playing. They're coming to your stadium. You'd be like, okay, all right. But it's the Packers. You're, son of a bitch.
Right. And I mean, you know that the Packers, hurt or not hurt, they could still do things on offense. Matt LaFleur is one of the best tacticians when it comes to, football offenses and whatnot. So, and I'm very concerned about this defense this January. Very, very concerned. I think it's going to be one of the biggest things holding them back. That and you got to get off to a better start offensively. And I feel like we've been saying that over and over and over, and it just hasn't really materialized as much this year. I mean, you did it against the Browns, which is a good defense, so you give them that. But in a lot of these games, you got off to slow starts. I think Courtney Cronin tweeted out. Let me find the tweet. Here it is. So Courtney Cronin says in the last three first halves for the Bears. So the game this week, the game against the Niners, the game against the Packers. In the last three first halves, they were outscored 47-21. Opponents have run 125 plays to the Bears 59. Time of possession 20 minutes 21 seconds to the Bears 9 minutes 38 seconds. So a little more than half. Outgained 50-19 in first downs. The Bears were 2-12 on third downs. Opponents were 11-20. So that's not good. It's just not good.
No, it's not. And honestly, if if the culture hadn't changed, Ben Johnson has changed the culture,
Yes,
regardless
big
of wins,
time.
loss.
Big
Had that
time.
culture not changed, and the Bears were, 5-12 or 6-11 or whatever, people would be losing their minds about Ben Johnson. But
Yeah.
he changed the culture. So yeah, that's not good numbers, and that has to get better. But the thing is what happened this week and last week and the week before doesn't matter anything for next week. I think this offense is really close to clicking. And the thing with playing a team for a third time within a month stretch is there's no surprises anymore. You're going out there and you're just, it's on the table. It's who's going to win the trenches, who's going to make those plays. And I feel fairly confident that we're going to have both Kyler Gordon and Roma Dunze back.
I mean, those would be big. You want Roma Dunze back, and you want your best nickel back. You need somebody with speed out there.
Which will be nice because uh, CJ Gardner Johnson didn't look like he was feeling good coming off the field.
No, he was banged up pretty good there.
I don't know if it was just he was in pain or if that was a concussion, but he was walking real weird.
Yeah.
Like he looked wobbly.
Yeah, no, he did not look right.
Um, so uh just not a lot of good things. The Bears, that defense did hold in the red zone. Um, but man, just in the between the 20s, just like Swiss cheese.
You bowled over. Bowled over with ease.
I mean, even when they had down and distance on their side, uh, and what's really sucked is at the end when the Bears got that interception with a little over 2 minutes left. I was like, all right, here we go. The Bears are going to come back and have a fourth quarter win. And then they just have a really rough series with the intentional grounding.
That was so disappointing. So disappointing. And that comes to one of the biggest controversial places of this game. And you know what? Ben Johnson mumbled it to himself on the sideline. He should have gone for it on fourth down.
Absolutely. 100%. There's I thought that was an absolute stupid decision. Go for it on fourth down because they're going to carve you up and all they need is a field goal. It's one thing if they needed a touchdown. Like
Right.
if you were up by 4 and they had to score, okay, I would have punted it too. But the fact that it was they all they needed was a field goal, you do not have any more time. There's no time left. They're going to march down the field, and it's whether or not they make that kick because they're going to get a kickoff. And you should have gone for it on fourth. You nothing. There was nothing. No result that would have mattered. Doesn't change anything. You go for it, and if you don't get it, then that's on you. You go back and lick your wounds. But
You had
if
nothing to lose at that point.
Yeah, but if you go out there and you win that with a fourth quarter comeback, being just manhandled for 3 quarters, that's gonna feel good. A good, better, best going into the playoffs is gonna be good. You should have gone for it on fourth down, and Ben Johnson has to learn from that. That's
He
he has to own that.
Did you see the clip of him mumbling should have gone for it on the sideline?
He should have. It wasn't like it was 4th and 20. It was a
No.
4th and 4?
Something like that. Yeah, it was makeable.
Yeah.
I'd rather try and fail than not. I mean, when they punted that ball away, I said, well, that's it. They lost.
I feel a whole lot better about Luther Burden or Colston Loveland coming up with a 6-yard catch than I do with that defense stopping a game-winning drive.
Correct.
I thought that was a bad decision, and Ben has there's I wouldn't trade Ben for anything, but there's been growing pains with his being a first-time head coach.
And that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
It's going to happen.
uh, in New England, you're not seeing those same ones because he's not a first-time head coach.
Oh, Vrabel.
Second,
I mean, Vrabel's been around the block quite a
he
bit.
he has been around the block, and he's coming in where he has that perspective of I went somewhere, had some success, and then got fired. I'm going back, I'm learning from my mistakes, figuring out what I need to do differently, and he's doing it. Ben is still on his first time around. I expect he's a very smart guy. He's done extraordinarily well. Nobody could have seen this coming.
No. I mean,
If
we're
if
talking about all this after an 11-6 season that we didn't even think was going to happen.
if last Thanksgiving you would have said that at the end of next season you will be the 2 seed going into the playoffs, would like if Biff Tannen comes back and tells you this, you're like, that guy is out of his gourd.
Yeah, I would have said make like a tree and get out of here.
There, there is no way you would buy that.
No,
After the mutiny
no.
and Matt Eberflus getting fired, there is no chance that you believe that's happening.
And even if I believed in great improvement record wise, because that does happen in the NFL, knowing the state of the NFC North, I would have said going from worst to first in this division. And you go, Biff Tannen says, hey, guess what? Everybody else in this division had a winning record. You would have
'cause
thought, no
your
way.
first question is like after you confirm that it's really going to happen, you're like, did Jared Goff and Jordan Love go down with knee injuries? Like, no, every team in this division finished with a winning record.
Right.
You go, holy cow. Holy cow.
Yes. And this is where I rack my brain because the process that they made or the process that they put in and executed is you see how much of the good that has happened with it and you see the progress that was made. It was better than you think. On the flip side, it it frustrates me that they invested so much in this defense that it's just flopped. And
Yeah.
are you going to regret that? Because this league turns every year. Every year. This league turns upside down. I I'm not saying this is going to happen. I don't want to sound, dooming here, but I don't want to be in next year looking back saying, "Man, if only we could have taken advantage of this year when we had things going our way with a better defense." But I mean, again, we have to see how this plays out first.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to have to make decisions here because they don't have a ton of cap space going into next year.
No, they don't.
Um, like that's why I don't believe DJ Moore is going to be on this team going forward.
Maybe not.
I don't know if Tremaine Edmonds is on this team going forward.
I like him, but the thing is there are a number of guys on this defense who I'm like, I don't necessarily dislike, but they're expendable. And I think you look at a number of guys like a Tremaine Edmonds, and you look at some of the guys who are going to be free agents. I don't know how many I would honestly re-sign other than what, Kevin Byard. I think Kevin Byard you bring back. I I like CJ Gardner-Johnson. I don't even know if I would sign him to a lot of money. I
No,
don't
it depends on what he wants. Like
exactly.
if he wants like 4 5 million, yeah, I'd probably bring him back.
That's fine. That's fine. But if he wants more than that, then I think you got to be selective. Frankly, I think you move on from Brisker.
I think so too.
I really
Uh,
liked him in his early days with the Bears. I just don't see much consistency right now. And he's had his injury issues too. So, I don't know. I'm not dying to bring him back. I'm not saying he's a horrible player, but I think you have to look at what the value is and what's worth paying with a lot of these guys. I mean, Kevin Byard, what I like about Kevin Byard is, I mean, he's leading the league in takeaways, and he's a really, really, really good leader on that team. And I think he is valued in that locker room very much. And I don't think he's going to command that much, even with the way he's played this year. I think with just his age and what kind of player he is, I think he can come back and not break the bank necessarily.
I'm going to say this. I know a lot of people are talking about what do you do with Nashawn Wright?
Let another team overpay.
Yes.
Let
And
another team overpay for him.
yes. Because you know what? 2 words. Compensatory pick. I don't think he's had a great year with the takeaways and the big plays. But like you said, he's not good in actual coverage. I think
Right.
you can get a better cornerback that Al Harris can coach up, and you get that compensatory pick. And the bigger the payday he gets, the better the compensatory pick is. That's why I'm hoping that somebody overpays for Braxton Jones.
Yeah.
Um, is compensatory pick. Um, but I quickly am looking through here, and I don't want to do a posthumous thing, before we even played a playoff game. But DJ Moore, I think you trade. Tremaine Edmonds, I think you move on from. Uh, um, Grady Jarrett, I think you move on from.
Hmm.
Ryan Bates, Cairo Santos, you move on from. And that clears up like $50 million in space.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money you
It's
save.
a lot of money. And you can absorb Max Crosby
Exactly.
because I don't think you can go into this next season without bringing in somebody that's a game changer on the defensive line.
No, I mean, and again, the reason we're talking about this before the playoffs even start is because of how obvious the weaknesses are going into the playoffs. I mean, they can't get the pressure you need. It's really hard to win that way against really good teams like that.
Yeah. Um, is you could you can fit him in there because Max Crosby got a bunch of money in signing bonus, which is almost all entirely paid. He's only due $5 million of signing bonus left.
Hmm.
So if you look at his salary next year, it's 30 million, which is a lot. 29 million the year after, 26 and a half and 27 and a half. And you could probably shuffle some of that around, kick that down the canal or down the road a little bit. Um, and shuffle some money around and bring him in and still have money to do some stuff with. It's going to be tight. You're finally going to be in caps trouble, but it's what's going to happen when you're good.
Right.
Then you could use, that early pick and on, best player available without having to just be dreading going, I need to use the first rounder on an edge rusher. It frees you up. Then you could go whoever falls to you. Because at this point, they're going to be picking, let's see, looking at Tankathon right now. And congratulations to Las Vegas getting the number one overall pick,
Hmm.
even after they won today. Um, so the Bears are probably going to be picking 25, 27, somewhere around there. That's the point in the draft where you have no idea who's going to be available. Somebody might fall, and the Eagles have done incredible at that, having somebody fall to you. But be prepared to take somebody that falls and make them fit in. And you hope it's a cornerback or a linebacker or, and if you trade for Max Crosby, I guess you won't have your first round pick, but um you but you set yourself up for being able to pick best player available. And you'll need a safety, you'll need a corner, you'll need uh you'll probably need to upgrade at punt returner and kick returner. So it's I think this is the point where Ryan Poles can't be passive. He's gonna have to be aggressive.
Yes. Yes. But we'll get there when we get there.
Um, but yeah, I mean, this game was just really frustrating, especially at home, and you know, and it's not. And the crazy part is as you're going along, at no point did you feel like there's been years where the Bears offense where you're just like, oh my God, they can't do anything. Like they literally can't. And it felt hopeless. This was just like, it was just like not in sync. Dropped pass, a holding call, false start, um, slight overthrow, uh, you know, whatever. It's just one little thing, and you don't pick up the first down, and you're like, okay, well, we're gonna play it safe and punt it, like you always do, and um, and you don't get in sync, and then the other team's driving, and your offense is sitting on the sideline cold. As much as with the defense being on the field, that sucks. And the longer they're on the field, the worse they're playing. The longer the defense is on the field, the colder that offense gets of just standing around. You want your offense on the field as much as possible and your defense off the field as much as possible.
Right. Yeah. It just like that was probably the worst first quarter we've watched this year
Oh yeah.
because you barely had the ball.
And that's the problem is they get off to these cold starts. And if the other team gets off to a hot start, you're in a hole.
Yeah.
It's one thing if they score a touchdown and you have this long drive and maybe you go for it on fourth down because you're close and you don't get it and you don't get any points, but you took up, you know, 9.5 minutes, 10 minutes with the drive. Okay. Your defense is rested and you kept the offense off the field. So you're like, okay, that felt like, a slight positive. But when you're going 3-and-out right off the bat and the other team went and scored and they're getting the ball back right away without any time really coming off the clock, that's bad. And you can't have that.
Right. And even though they didn't score, do you remember the missed field goal by the Lions at the end of the half?
I was like, that kept it to 13. I was like, okay, the Bears scored 2 touchdowns and they're winning. That's what it felt like to me. 16 felt big. 13 felt manageable.
Right, right. But my point is that what was frustrating is that they were able to get there in field goal range so easy in the first place.
Why didn't Ben Johnson use that last timeout to
Uh,
ice the kicker?
I don't know.
I know the stats don't say that helps, but and the thing is did you see the flags on the goalposts?
I did.
They were just laying there dead. No
Yeah,
wind at all.
yeah,
Um, I mean, I would have at least taken the time out, got your defense set. Maybe you get a miracle play of a block. Uh, they just didn't feel like the Bears were even set. They didn't get any push on that at all.
yeah. That was the
Yeah, just a bad game. And, the part of that is on Ben Johnson. You've got to have your team ready to go out there. Those, are you scripting those plays? And if so, why are they so vanilla and dry? Why, if the scripted plays aren't working, then go out there and call a game like you're down by 2 touchdowns, starting the game. Have the urgency. Next week, there's urgency. Next week, there's urgency. Look, look at this team, the the point differential on this team. I believe it's negative.
for the year?
Yes.
Is it?
If not, it's real close.
I don't think it's negative, but it's not, crazy positive either.
Um, it this team doesn't have a big point differential, which is an indicator of teams that are significantly, you know, most likely to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
Um, Looking at it quickly. Point differential. The New England Patriots are plus 170. Um, Denver Broncos plus 90. Eagles plus 54. Bears are plus 26.
Okay, so
They
I mean
were.
it's not huge, but it's not negative.
The Lions are plus 68.
Yeah.
Carolina Panthers are minus 69.
Oh my God.
Every team in the NFC South is a negative. Every single one.
I mean, I'm not surprised by that, but by that margin, yikes.
Seattle is plus 191. It's insane. That's why they're 14-3. Yeah, plus 26 is not that good. Um, yeah, the Eagles are more than double us. Uh, the the Rams are like 7 times our point differential. San Francisco's more than double.
It's not a surprise.
Yeah, it is. I mean, out of the teams that are the Packers are on par. They're plus 31. But out of the teams that really should be uh in the playoffs, we are last.
No, you're not counting the NFC South.
Yeah, I said the teams that should be in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, okay.
I mean, really, the Lions have to be sitting there going, "What the hell?
Well,
What the hell?"
that's how we felt as Cubs fans in 2023 when we had like a plus 100 run differential and we missed the playoffs by 1 game.
Just happens that way.
Yeah, that's how sports is.
Sports. That's why I think the Ravens are going to win tonight.
Yeah, I'm picking the Ravens slightly. I could see it going either way, but if I had to choose one, I'd probably choose the Ravens. You could be listening to this tomorrow and saying, "Oh, hey, you were very, very wrong on that," and that's very, very possible. But yeah,
There's a very good chance that at come tomorrow, when the season is completely over, Pittsburgh Steelers have a negative point differential on the season. Going into this game, they're a +8. Currently, they're where it's 10-3 right now. They're currently on the season a +1.
hmm.
Is how it is. But the season, everything that happened in the season, uh, it just it doesn't matter anymore. We Now it's the playoffs, one game, go big or go home.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want to see the Ravens win, but we'll see.
I want the Ravens to win. I do not want Aaron Rodgers to make the postseason.
Yeah, I hear you.
But yeah, I mean, going into next week, I think you have to have a different mindset. Is everything was at a certain point in the season was house money.
Yes.
And at this point now, you're in the dance. Don't don't blow it, because ask the Lions, ask the Vikings. Like um it's not guaranteed next year. Just because you're on the rise doesn't mean next year you make it. Uh just You're in it, you got to play to win it. You can't play scared. You've got to be aggressive. Matt LaFleur is going to be aggressive. And that team has been in the playoffs quite a few times under
Hmm.
Jordan Love. Even when he wasn't, the starter, he's got playoff experience. This is you look at Caleb. This is playoff game number 1.
Yep.
So you've got to go in there and help him and coach going into this with some sense of urgency.
Oh yeah, I mean it's do or die at this point. You have
You
to get off to a better start than most of these games.
Yeah, do not fall behind, because the Packers are going to score touchdowns down there. Don't you If you go down 21-0 in the first half to the Packers,
Well,
it's
you're
done.
done.
You're
Yeah.
done. They're too good of a defense for you to come back from. You've got to start strong. Got to go down there and score a touchdown on your first drive and get a stop. Have the ball with a touchdown lead, not them have the ball with a touchdown, with you having a touchdown lead to going to tie it up.
Right.
But yeah, it's it sucks to end the season on a 2-game losing streak, but um, that's how that goes sometimes.
It's a week by week league.
It is a week by week league, and it's any given Sunday league.
Exactly.
All right, what do you want to move on to?
Well, I don't really want to talk about the Cubs because there's nothing to talk about. I mean that
Literally nothing.
there's nothing.
Like I don't know what it is they're doing. Um, they lost out on Amai, but
Which
seeing that contract, like, eh, like it's going to be a 1-year deal.
right, and it makes you wonder these few things. A, what does the rest of the league see in his value? And B, what do you think was just his preference? Because it sounded like the Cubs had an offer and he chose Houston, and maybe he just wanted Houston. So,
I wonder. So you look at the money, and I feel like the Cubs could have given up that money pretty easily, but I wonder if the Cubs weren't willing to give up all of those opt-outs because if you're trying to sign this guy, like if the opt-out after 1 year, um, it's uh, if he's good, you get him for 1 year and he's gone. You only keep him if he's bad.
right.
So maybe it was not about the money, it was about the opt-outs.
Yeah, I mean there's always some form of stipulation or something a team did or did not offer, which could be down to just location and convenience too. So, I don't know if this is a situation where I want to trash the Cubs for not getting him, but it is disappointing regardless. And uh, you might have to settle for a mid-tier starter or trade for somebody. And there's a lot of rumors talking, oh, the Cubs checking in on Bo Bichette and Alex Bregman, and it's like, okay, I feel like the chances are very small.
I think the Bo Bichette thing is just all smoke.
Probably.
Bregman, I think the longer it goes with him being a free agent, I think the more likely it could be that he goes to the Cubs. Um, but I don't know how likely that is. I, it's really frustrating. Sure, they've rebuilt the bullpen, but you need a frontline starter and you need a impact bat. Period. Or else you're going to be just competing for the Central Division and not really for the World Series.
Well, I don't like the idea of standing pat on that front either. I also don't think,
I feel like you always stand pat
yeah, well, I mean, there are a few
because
things
that's your
here.
last name.
Oh, funny, funny, funny. We got a comedian over here, folks. Funny guy, funny guy. But I feel like they're waiting for that Kyle Tucker deal to fall out of the sky, and that's not there right now. And listen, if you're not going to get a Bregman, if you're not going to get a Bo Bichette, it might go against your run prevention model, but damn it, go get Suarez then. Have someone, even if he hits 220 and his OBP is 300, you know what? Go out and get a guy who can hit 30, 40 bombs. because I think power might be a little bit of a concern. I don't know if Say is going to hit 30 again. I don't know if PCA is going to hit 30 again. You know Suarez can hit 30, 40. Like you darn well know that he's good for that. I just think you need some thunder to be added there, to your point.
I mean, if you're not going to go and re-sign your player, I think you just like you've got to just make it happen with Bregman.
I think he's going to go back to the Red Sox, but we'll see.
It just gets old. Pony up the money.
I I really wonder. I really wonder with some of this marquee stuff we're hearing about. And with some of the layoffs that we've seen from Marquee, like we're directly seeing that Marquee is not the cash cow people hoped it was going to be back in 2018, 2019 when it was all starting to come together. I,
Well,
I
they're really dumb. They should have they should have picked up all of the other teams. Like they should have the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox.
yeah, I think the timing was really bad too.
Oh, the
Because
timing was
it
atrocious.
was atrocious timing. And I think that's what did a lot of the damage. So my whole point here is like what is the financial like net worth is net worth. Net worth isn't exactly money in hand. We know the net worth of the team is high, and you can't tell me they're not making a lot of money, but what do they actually have to spend? Like, what is their dispensable income? Adding
But
on the taxes and everything they've done, I don't know. I
it
just don't know.
so the Dodgers make a lot of money on that TV network.
Oh, they make more money than God with that TV network.
But and with Marquee, that rollout it couldn't have been any worse. Like it just couldn't have been worse. The timing, the who they partnered with, the not securing television deals, the not having the ability to stream it at first. Like it was so bad. But what they lack there is they own an entire damn neighborhood in the city of Chicago. They own all of that.
I know, I know.
They make a ton of money off of that. They own those bars. They own restaurants. They own those rooftops. They own like every building in that area. That's what they own. And it generates a lot of money. And not just during the baseball season. What they should have done though is they could have buoyed the the marquee network and gotten the Blackhawks or at bare minimum the Blackhawks is you get the Blackhawks that keeps people subscribing to that stupid network all year round instead of just during Cubs season.
Right. They tried, with like the Bears coverage, and the Bears coverage is okay, but that's not actual games, so you're not going to get the same type of viewers and that kind of thing with that.
You're not getting anybody subscribing for that.
No.
It might keep them from canceling, but it will not get somebody to subscribe. Now, if they had the Blackhawks, I would have kept it. Like I don't have it like through cable. Um it's not on YouTube TV, but I subscribed during the baseball season. And had they had the Blackhawks, I probably would have kept it so I could keep watching it. But, odds are not getting the Bulls because the White Sox and the Bulls have the same ownership.
Yeah,
But,
Jerry's not going to know.
odds are getting all four of those teams or, getting the three teams. But, um, you know, go out and get the Fire. Go out and get the Sky. Go out and get the Blackhawks. bring other things to your network that make people want to watch it. Partner with the Big Ten network to
Huh,
bring
that would be nice.
other games in, like you're not going to get the Michigans and the Ohio States, but you could get the other games. Like the you might even be able to get the Illinois games.
Sure.
Like you have to bring things in that make people want to watch. Watching reruns of some Cubs game show or games from 1987, then they're not bringing viewership in.
Yeah, especially when you could go on YouTube and I could just watch the Kerry Wood 20 strikeout game there.
Yeah, I can pick what I want to watch.
Yeah. Oh
So
boy, it's once again Cubs Phillies 1987, the three home runs by Andre Dawson. Yeah, that's cool and all, but um I can watch that anytime on my phone.
I want to see Glenn Allen Hill hit a one that bounced and hit it out of the park.
You know what? I've seen that clip a million times when he hit it on top of the roof. I've never actually seen that entire game. I mean, it happened when I was like 4, but usually like I'll watch the complete like game of a lot of those highlight games. I haven't seen that full game. I don't even think the Cubs won that game though.
I don't even remember. I remember watching that. Glenn Allen Hill crushed that baseball.
Yeah. He was juicing on something, man.
There was no doubt that dude was juicing.
Oh, the big time. But it was fun. It was fun to see that ball uh go on top.
I'm such a hypocrite. Like I hate juicers, don't want them in the Hall of Fame. But boy, did I like watching somebody just crush a baseball and incinerate it.
Oh, it's fun. It was fun to witness.
Yeah, like when Brady Anderson is hitting 55 bombs, you know that the ball is the league is juiced.
Yeah.
Brady Anderson. Ugh. But yeah, the Cubs aren't doing a damn thing.
Jack or shit.
Yep. And if they stand pat and not do anything, I'm gonna lose my mind.
And he won't be the only one.
The White Sox haven't really done much either. They signed the Japanese guy, but still, Gary and I had an argument earlier this week.
Oh yeah.
Um, because I was like, I thought the White Sox should have been, he was like, Cubs were stupid to not give Amai that contract that he got. I was like, the White Sox were stupid for not giving that. And he's like, well, you're blocking guys. And I was like, but at some point, you have to stop the bleeding. I know there's a lot of young players, but the odds of them all hitting are really low. Like I mean, you could have this farm system of just guys that look like they're going to be great. It never works out that way. It just doesn't. So why wouldn't you try to bolster that? You've got so much money. Your team payroll is like $8 and 3 buttons. You've had how many straight 100 loss seasons?
You would bring in a lot of people to the ballpark if you had more of that talent in there. And I think they're going to grow to the point where they are going to start winning and get more talent, but that could have been a nice boost.
But I don't think they're that far off from competing, especially in the division they're in. It's not like they're in the AL East. The AL Central is not a runaway league.
Not at all.
So you've got the opportunity. You've just got to bolster. I don't necessarily want to take away, block somebody, but the odds of relying on all young players to come in and just win is not good. It just, it just doesn't happen.
Right.
Look at the 2016 Cubs. They had a ton of young players that they either traded that came from their organization somehow, whether traded for a minor league player that they brought up or their own player they drafted and developed and brought up. They had a lot of homegrown their guys, but you had to bolster it with a Ben Zobrist and a John Lester. You had to bolster it.
Yeah. You don't win that World Series without John Lester.
You
That's
don't win it
for
without
sure.
Ben Zobrist. Like it's
No,
that's
you don't.
it's the White Sox need to bring in they need bats like crazy. But I think you should bring in a veteran pitcher. If
Well, yeah. And to
and
your
if
point, the last Rick Hahn era, you could have brought in more talent in the outside and you didn't. We saw how that worked out.
you just there's a way to do it. The odds of all of those young pitchers coming up and pitching the entire season and doing well the whole time is low. Not shitting on anybody, it's just statistics. And even if they turn out to all have good careers, the odds of all of them being young players and having a good season next season is low. The odds of even them being healthy all season is probably low. Bring in a veteran that, you know, if best case scenario is everybody's pitching pretty well and staying healthy, and you could go to a 6 starter rotation. You could move somebody to, the bullpen or the long relief. There's different things you can do, still not blockade somebody and have the veteran presence. I just think it's a smart thing to do. And
I
you've got
agree.
so much money. Spend it.
I agree.
Um, I mean, look at their record from the last however many years is 102 losses last year, 121 losses the year before, 101 losses the year before that. Like that's not good. When was the last time you played? All right, 2021 you had a winning season. But um when was the last time that you played a full season of winning baseball before that?
Well, you had 2021, and then before that was 2012.
Yep. 2012. So you're on 3 straight 100+ loss seasons. 2 seasons ago, you broke the record for worst record ever. Pony the money up, put a quality team on the field. You've got some good pieces. Bolster them with you have problems, throw money at the problems. That's how you win baseball. The Pirates don't throw money at problems. It's why they perennially lose. Cincinnati doesn't throw money at problems. It's why they lose. Oakland doesn't throw, or wherever they play. They don't
The
throw money at
non-located, technically San Antonio A's.
they don't throw money at the problem. They lose. You've got to throw some money at the problem.
Yeah, well, we've been saying that a long time, and yet they don't listen.
Do not listen.
Yeah, well, we'll see how the rest of this goes.
Gary just sent me like he knew we were talking. He literally just texted me now a graph that says playoff wins in the last 10 seasons. The S tier is Los Angeles and Houston at 50 plus. The A tier is the Yankees, the Braves, the Guardians, and the Phillies at 20 plus. The B tier is Cubs, Red Sox, Nationals, Blue Jays, Rays at 15 plus. The E tier is St. Louis, San Francisco, the A's, the Twins, the Royals, the Marlins, and the White Sox with 1 plus, somewhere between under 5.
Okay, that's a
Somewhere
little
between 1 and 5.
creepy. That's a little creepy.
Like literally, I just heard a bzz, and there's a text from Gary, like he knew.
That is a little creepy. Are you sure Gary's not like intercepting our episodes or something? He's not listening in, or is he just sitting next to you and you're just messing with me?
He's not. He was at the Bears game today.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. So I have a trivia question for you.
Okay.
Who is the only team to ever draft two first ballot Hall of Fame quarterbacks in the same draft?
Whoa, was it the 49ers?
No.
Two Hall of Fame quarterbacks in the first
Two
draft.
first ballot Hall of Fame
Two
quarterbacks
first ballot Hall of Famers
in the same draft.
in the same draft. One team drafted them.
One team drafted two players in the same draft. Both of them uh not only were first ballot Hall of Famers, but are all-time great quarterbacks.
Was it the Chargers?
No.
Oh, because I was just wondering if it was Phillips and Breeze, but well, I guess Phillips is in the Philip Rivers isn't in the Hall of Fame yet.
No.
Let's see. It's not the Packers because obviously Favre, Rodgers, Bart Starr were all different times. Wasn't the Vikings? Wasn't the Lions? Was it the Steelers?
Nope.
Was it the Giants? No, not the Giants. Ugh,
Would you like me to give you a hint?
sure.
It is not an NFL team.
Okay, well then I don't fucking know.
It is the Kansas City Royals. They drafted Dan Marino and John Elway.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I'm thinking, what?
The
Okay,
Chargers were the first one that came to my mind. And then I was like, well, they drafted Philip Rivers and Eli Manning in the same draft, but Eli Manning is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, and Philip Rivers hasn't even been eligible yet. But in 1979, the Kansas City Royals drafted Dan Marino in the 4th round and John Elway in the 18th round.
that's pretty funny. I did not know that.
Now you do. That is some bar trivia right there. Put that one in your noodle.
In my noodle.
Yeah. So I just think the White Sox just pony up, and this division is wide open. You've got the young pitchers. They'll have some returning from injury, some that are, coming up. You've got already some young bats. You signed one international bat. Just pony up the money. Just shore things up. Don't waste this talent. My thing is like, okay, you could say, well, they're a few years away. The concern is, and why I say it's a concern is because it's the pattern. The White Sox, let's just hypothetically say all these pitchers are good. And then you wait a few years before you're like, oh, well, got to wait before we start spending the money. Then at some point you go, oh, hey, these pitchers need extensions. And then they're going to be, well, they want over $100 million. And then the White Sox go, well, we don't pay people over $100 million. So then they trade those players and they start the clock again.
Yeah, it's annoying.
It's if that's going to continue to be the pattern, and maybe the new ownership transition breaks that, but Jerry's still breathing. So I think until he's in the ground, that's going to keep happening this way, is capitalize while you can. Right now, you are still well under $100 million if you sign an impact bat and a veteran starter, and then the players you have. And it gives you a lot more room for error. Oh, one of your young bats goes into a cold streak. Okay, well, you've got a veteran bat that should be able to buoy you. You young pitcher gets injured, young pitcher goes through a rough spell. You've got a veteran that's a streak breaker. I think it's just the smart thing to do. That's just my 2 cents.
Well, I think a lot of people agree with you, including myself.
Can we talk about PWilliams a little bit?
He stinks.
I know we've said this before. I think he's the worst player in the NBA.
Yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal.
He is so bad. He's
And they
so
extended
bad.
him. They drafted him fourth overall as a project, didn't develop, and gave him an extension.
That's a truth. That is a truth. So yesterday's game, we're recording this on Sunday. Yesterday's game, Saturday, against Charlotte. Would you like to know PWilliams' stat line?
No, but go ahead.
Uh, he was 0 for 7 from field goals, 0 from 5 from beyond the arc, 0 for 0 on free throws, 0 points, 0 assists, 3 rebounds in 14 minutes. He was a minus 14 in 14 minutes. And it's 0 points.
That's really awful.
How does he get worse?
How many years left on that deal? Too many.
Too many.
Too many.
Like,
Good Lord.
It's this team stinks. This team literally stinks. I don't know what to do with him.
You're stuck. You're genuinely stuck.
He signed a 5-year deal in June of 2024. So after this season, he's got 3 more seasons at $18 million per season. And there's a player option for the 2028-2029 season. Which assuredly he will pick up.
Why wouldn't you?
Because
free money. You're robbing them blind.
It is free money. Like it is like I would feel bad. I don't think I could handle that.
What are you gonna do?
I mean, you essentially, like at this point, just build around Matas. Just build around him. That's all you've got.
Yeah, and how do you propose they do that?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean,
there's nothing
honestly.
to trade that just. And the sad part is that they're bad. They're a bad team, but not bad enough. Like, if the season ended right now, do you know what their odds would be to get the number 1 overall pick in the lottery? 0.5%. And they're a bad team.
It's where we've been for how many years?
Yeah, essentially. It's essentially where we are. We are just on where of record wise, we're the best of the lottery teams, or the worst of the non-lottery teams. That's just where we are.
Play-in tournament, here we come.
Yeah, I mean that's what we're competing for.
Hmm.
And we end up winning this lottery, maybe we can draft Carlos Boozer's son.
That's going to be the key. The key to winning the lottery, they're going to rig the lottery so Carlos Boozer's son can be the new star of the Chicago Bulls.
Get that, Joe.
Fuck, his son is going to be playing in the league next year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cameron
you
Boozer.
wanted to make me feel old.
Cameron Boozer.
He's good. He's very good.
Yeah, I Tankathon in their mock draft has him going 2.
Who's the number one?
Darren Peterson from Kansas.
I mean, he's not a Cooper Flag level type player, right? Like,
No.
I feel like there'd be a lot more hype around him if he was.
No, I don't think this draft has a consensus guy.
Right, right. I mean, Boozer sounds like a very good player, but is he that franchise player that's going to completely turn a team around? I don't know. He like not unlike a Cooper Flag or a Wemby, something like that. Imagine
Yeah.
if you had a Wemby. You don't have anything close to
N-
Wemby.
No. I mean, I like Matas. I think he's a pretty good player.
I think he is too, but he's
And
not. He's not on the
and
tier of Wemby or
no,
Cooper
no.
Flag.
But man, he did posterize somebody this week.
He did. He did. He looks good. He looks good, but you need a hell lot more than just Matas and Josh Giddey to make your team into a championship contending ball club.
Maybe we can trade for a guy that can score a lot of points. Um, like Zach Levine.
Would you? I'm going to hit you with something. I'm going to
Uh,
spray you with a bottle of water from here.
you're gonna roll up a newspaper and bop me on the nose.
Yep,
No,
bump.
no.
You're going to hear a
Uh,
brief pause of silence and be like, Alex, you still there? Then all of a sudden you're going to look up and I'm just there, bonk.
but it hurts already because Giddy's out with a hamstring. Kobe White is out with a calf. Um, Jalen Smith is out with a concussion. And then you already lost Noah Essengay. So no chance of development there.
Great times, huh?
And it's funny thing is they're still third in the division.
Well, that's because the Pacers are bad, who you still can't beat.
The Pacers are bad.
And yet the Bulls are 0-2 against them, right? Aren't they 0-2 against the Pacers?
I think so.
I mean, yak.
Yeah. Right now we are the 9 seed. Play-in tournament.
It's exactly where the Bulls live.
Just their sweet spot.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. That's the ticket. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to do with this team.
I don't either. That's why my emotional investment is quite low.
Yeah, I tune in a little bit and I go, eh, eh.
Yeah, accurate.
I don't have, it's one thing if they were just terrible. You're like, okay, then you're like,
Get a good
okay,
draft
we get
pick.
a
Yeah.
draft pick here. We could clear some space, maybe bring in a free agent to go along with the young, like the Bulls are, they're just the, they're in hell. They're not good. They're nowhere near good enough to compete. They're nowhere near bad enough to reset. So they just keep patching. And it's like this is just literally like AK should get an award for being the most accurate at being mediocre. Like he is the definition of consistency of being mediocre.
Well, if there was a mediocre bull, he'd be a perennial winner.
You want to talk Blackhawks?
They just won again. Tyler Bertuzzi with a hat trick in overtime. They're undefeated in 2026. They're playing hard.
They are. It's just, but you realize when they lose Connor Bedard how limited they are.
But guess who's coming back soon?
What's this time frame? I just saw he was coming back soon. I don't know the status.
Well, I don't know the exact status right now, but he's skating, he's out there, so you got to feel like it's fairly soon.
Um, but
But you know what? Shout out to like guys like Ilya Mikheyev and Tyler Bertuzzi for stepping up a little bit over the past few games. And you know what? You've beaten some really good teams. You've beaten the Dallas Stars twice. You just beat the Golden Knights. And then you went in and won in a shootout in Washington against the Capitals, a place like you haven't won in like 20 years. So give them a little props there.
yeah, I'm not. They're not terrible. They just without Connor Bedard, without the captain, they they're just they're
It's a big difference. Yes,
it's
there's
a
no
big
question.
difference.
No question it's a big difference. It was a rough watch there for a while without Connor Bedard or Frank Nazar or Nick Foligno. It was nice to see Nick Foligno get that shootout winner the other night against his former team in Washington. So it was nice having him back. But yeah, when you don't have Connor Bedard or Frank Nazar, that is a big difference.
So CBSSports.com, this is from today, is saying that Connor Bedard is his return isn't imminent, but is expected before the Olympic break, which starts February 6th.
Right. So that's a month or so. So relatively soon. You know, we're not talking a few months.
I was hoping he'd be back like the first or second week of January.
I
I
was
would,
too,
and
but
maybe
alas,
he is. Maybe he is. I mean, that's still before the All-Star, I mean the Olympic break.
which he will sadly not be participating in.
He will not. And even if he was healthy, would you want him going after that injury?
I mean, I'd love for him to have the honors, but part of me is okay with him not risking it.
Like he's still a kid. He's going to have plenty of Olympics to go to.
Yep.
Um, so, but I mean, at least they went through a real rough, like the transition from losing Bedard was not a good one.
No, that was a rough few weeks.
They've figured some things out, and you're right, they're playing hard. Uh, but they, um, you've got Nazar playing well.
Well, he's
Um,
hurt.
what's that? I know, but in general, like you've seen him
Yeah,
like,
even when he wasn't scoring, he missed out on a lot of close calls and was making some things happen. So no, yeah, I agree.
yeah, like it's a like he's almost like he reinvented himself.
Hmm.
Um, and so it's uh yeah, this team just a lot of adversity that they're going through.
Yep, and you see guys like Levishnov is learning out there, and Spencer Knight had a little bit of a rough patch there, but he's played a few good games. He's helped keep them in there so they can, get to overtime and get these points. Because they've been going to overtime like crazy. Like all their games have been going to overtime. But they've been coming out on top in some of these. And I think, too, you give a lot of credit to Jeff Blashill for helping stabilize the ship a little bit.
I mean, it's he's got this team playing as good as I think we could have expected them to.
Yeah, and I mean, there have been some really ugly games at the end of the 2025 portion of the schedule, but when you have a depleted team like this, you're going to lose some ugly games. You're going to lose a stretch. It's how you get back on track. And, they're playing much more respectable now. Not great, not Stanley Cup playoff contending, but respectable.
Yeah. Um, and you've got a couple games coming up here. You got the Blues and the Capitals coming up the remainder of the week, um, which uh, the
Those are both at home, right?
I don't know, are they?
Well, I know the Capitals is at home because they just played the Capitals on the road. I'm not sure about the Blues.
The Blues are in Chicago.
Okay.
Um, yeah, both of those games are at United Center. So you get two home games, and they're both good teams, not great teams. Um, so like winnable. Uh, so that would be nice. I mean, the way you're sitting here, your record is 17, 18, and 7.
Hey, win one more and get back to 500.
That's what I'm talking about. But the good thing is looking at Tankathon, um, you know what? Actually, boof. Woof. They're back down to the number 4 pick.
I'm not too worried right now about Tankathon. I want to see this team grow.
Honestly, I'm looking at this. There's no atrocious teams this year. Like
No.
Winnipeg's not good, but they're like they're 15, 21, and 4. Like there's not like those atrocious teams that are just terrible.
Well, remember when the Blackhawks were in their dynasty? Remember how bad those Oilers teams were?
Yeah. Yep.
Those were, I'll never forget. I think it was 2014. The Blackhawks beat them like 7-1 or something. And a clip went viral of the Oilers walking off the ice after the game, and they were just getting showered with booze like you wouldn't believe. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I was in college. I'll never forget watching that game. And I remember, we were obviously watching the local broadcast, the Oilers broadcast that posted the viral clips got more of it, but you could even tell on the Chicago Sportsnet, uh, I think it was Comcast Sportsnet still at the time. They were obviously showing the Blackhawks celebrating, but you can hear those loud boos. I'll never forget that. And that team was miserable.
Yeah, I mean, there's usually just some miserable ass teams every year. Um, let's see. I mean, San Jose was a miserable team. Like right now, the Winnipeg has the worst record, and they would barely be a top 5 last year. It's not good. I'm not saying it's good. There's nobody that's just absolutely tanking.
Right. It started to look that way with the Sharks, and then they started winning some games.
I mean, San Jose, if they have the 10th best or 10th worst, so they would, if they didn't have a lottery, they would be the number 10 pick right now, which is significant improvement from last year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Boy, would it be nice though to get Gavin McKenna though.
Oh yeah, sure, sure.
Uh, just keep stacking up the farm system. Yeah, I'm gonna do one tankathon sim lottery. Where do the Blackhawks pick?
Let's say third,
Fifth.
fifth. Okay, that was my second guess.
Vancouver ended up getting number 1.
Okay. Well, they traded their top guy to the frickin' Wild.
And it also stinks is Florida is playing a lot better. So that other first round pick. Because we get theirs.
Well, they're the defending champs. They were gonna pick it up again.
Yeah, I don't want them to. I want, oh my God, if to have 2 lottery picks would be sweet.
Oh yeah, that would be epic.
Oh my God, imagine getting 1 and 2. The league would lose their minds. All right. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Nope, I've said my piece.
Well, this is our last show before the Chicago Bears go into the playoffs. So, fingers crossed and excited to, oh wait, the wild card schedule is released.
Oh?
Come on, spin, 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 spin. Saturday, 7 o'clock Saturday, the Bears and Packers on Amazon Prime Video.
Amazon Prime Video? Fuck off.
The first game will be the Rams at the Rams at the Panthers? Huh.
Yeah, they're playing that's what's official now.
Oh, it's official. Okay, that tiebreaker. So
Yeah.
it's the Rams at the Panthers. That will be the first game. That'll be on Fox. And the second game, 7 p.m. on Saturday, will be the Packers at the Bears on Prime Video. Sunday at noon will be the Bills at the Jaguars. Oh, wow. This did change. Bills at the Jaguars. That's a tough matchup too. Then at 3:30 will be the 49ers at the Eagles. And then the 7 o'clock game will be the Chargers at the Patriots. I think that's less exciting. And then Monday will be Houston versus the winner of tonight's Ravens-Steelers game.
Amazon Prime Video hosting the oldest rivalry in the NFL.
We're literally the only one on a streaming network.
Wow.
Because the first one is on Fox. Then Sunday is CBS/Paramount, Fox, NBC/Peacock. And then the Monday night one will be ESPN/ABC. So,
okay,
yeah.
then.
Prime. Sweet. We'll get that shitty ass Prime broadcast team.
Yeah. It's going to be Al Michaels, who I love Al Michaels, but man, hang it up.
Yeah. So Saturday night it is. Saturday night. Huh. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Bill Swerski Sports Talk Chicago. I want to thank everybody so much for listening. Please hit subscribe however you listen to podcasts, whether it's iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, Google Play, Spotify, etc. Share this podcast with your friends. That would grow the show. Follow us on social media at Swerski Sports, Facebook.com/Swerski Sports, SwerskiSports.com, or Swerski_sports_podcast on Instagram, or ShyFanPat2 for Alex on Twitter/X, or AlexanderJPatCreative.com for all the cool stuff that Alex does. And again, thank you so much for listening. And until next time, bear down.
Cubs win! What a lucky break! The good Lord wants the Cubs to win!
We thank Ditka and God for all they have provided.
Cubs win! Cubs win! Cubs win!
Oh, I don't want her, you can have her, she's a Packer fan. She can't fit in my van.
And she looks like number New Yorkers. Smoking crack is not legal on planes.
Bears 31 to -7.
The Bears.
Oh, when the Bears go bearing down